Welcome to e-Adhyayan Commerce. Today we will learn about one of the most important aspects of filing the return for income tax, that is belated return. As per section 139 subsection 4 of the Income Tax Act, belated return means that the delay in the filing of the tax return. Now we'll note it down. Delay in filing the tax returns. You see, usually the last date to pay the taxes has been 31st of July of the related assessment year. But for this year, that is assessment year 2025-2026, it has been expanded to 15th of September 2025. But if you have failed to file the returns by 15th September 2025, you have the timeline, that is the extended timeline, that is the date will be 31st of December 2025. So this is the date by which you have to file your tax return. Now, as you have failed to file the returns by 15 September this year, there are certain fines that you have to pay, as you have failed to file the returns by the stipulated time. You have to pay certain amount of fines if you are paying or filing the tax returns by 31st of December 2025. Now we will see that. Now that we have spoken about certain amount of fines that you need to pay, first section that comes, that is section 234F. Section 234F that talks about paying fine if your income for the year is beyond 5 lakh rupees. Okay, then the fine would be rupees 5,000. If your income is above rupees 5 lakh rupees, then you have to pay rupees 5,000 as a fine. And if your income is below 5 lakh rupees, in that case the fine will be paid by you will be 1,000. So if you are filing as a belated return, then your fines for the year that you need to pay will depend on your income. If your income is more than 5 lakh, then that would be rupees 5,000 as a fine, and if your income is less than rupees 5 lakh rupees, that would be rupees 1,000 for the year. Okay. Another important section that we will be talking here is section 234A of the Income Tax Act, that tells if there is an outstanding tax liability, and interest will be charged at the rate of 1% per month from the due date to the date you will be filing your returns. So there will be a interest at the rate of 1% that you need to pay on what? On outstanding tax liability. In order to understand it, we will have to take a practical example, then we will be able to understand it clearly. Okay. Now we will see a practical example of section 234A. You see, Mr. A, a salaried employee, have an outstanding tax liability of rupees 6,000. He filed on 31st of October 2025. Now you see that the due date, was September 15th for this assessment year. Due date was 15/9/25, but he has filed on 31st of October. So in income tax, when there is a half a month, we will take it as a 1 month So here we will take September as well as October. He should have filed on September 15th, but he has filed on October 31st. So 2 months. So his fine as of section 234 would be fine as of section 234A would be, you see that's very easy to understand, rupees 6,000. Okay, that is outstanding, multiplied by, you see we are taking 2 months and 1% of interest each month. So if we calculate this, so this is the fine that he has to pay as of section 234A. Okay. Since you have filed late, there are certain consequences that you need to face. First of all, you will not be able to carry forward any sort of losses. Okay. Second of all is that if there is any tax refund that you should be having, that would be delayed. Any sort of tax refund would be delayed since you have filed late, and in some sections you will not be having the benefits of the deduction and exemptions. So since you have filed late, there are certain things that you have to face. These are the 3 things especially that you need to face in case of late filing. You see, usually the deadline of tax filing lies on 31st of July, but this year it has been extended to 15th of September. So this is the period that is extended this year by income tax authority, and any time you are filing beyond September 15, but within 31st of December, it will be considered as the period for belated return. So 31st of July is the usual scenario that we'll see, but this year it has been extended to 15th of September, and any time you are filing between this date and this date will be called as belated returns. Initially, the date was 31st of July to file your returns. Then it was extended to 15th of September for this assessment year. And now, if you are filing any time after that, but up to 31st of December, that is called belated returns. But what if you are not able to file your returns as of December 31? Then comes updated return. That is, any time you are filing your income tax return after 31st of December from the relevant assessment year, in this case 31st of December 2025. So what is the ruling? That we need to file our returns through ITRU, and the time limit for the same would be return should be filed within 48 months from the end of relevant assessment year. So the ruling is that the return should be filed within 48 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. So in this case, we see that the assessment year will end on 31st of March 2026. So 48 months from there, the date would be 31st of March 2030. So there is 48 months of gap within which you need to file your income tax return. This 48 months time limit has been 24 months previously, but now that has been extended. Okay. So there are some factors related to updated return that you will know now. In updated return, you will not be able to file any loss return, that you have incurred any loss, but you will not be able to file that. Okay. Second one is that you cannot claim a higher refund. That you won't be able to claim any higher refund that you have previously had as of updated return. And the third one is that you won't be able to show lesser tax liability that you have previously shown as of updated return. So there are three important factors that the loss won't be filed, you won't be able to claim any sort of higher refund that you have previously had, and you won't be able to show lesser tax liability than you have previously showed. So these are the three main factors related with updated return. Now that we have opted for ITRU, there are certain amount of additional tax plus interest that we have to pay. You see, in the first case, ITRU filed within 12 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. In our case, assessment year is 2025-2026. So the end of the relevant assessment year would be 31st of March 2026. So 12 months from that date would be 31st of March 27, and the additional tax we need to pay at that time would be 25%. So 25% of additional tax would be paid along with the interest. Okay. In the next case, we'll see that when it will be 24 months from the end of the relevant assessment year, then the date will be 31st of March 2028. In that time, we have to pay 50% additional tax plus interest. Next, when it would be 36 months from the end of the relevant assessment year, the date would be 31st of March 2029. Then we have to pay 60% of the additional tax along with the interest, and finally that is 48 months from the end of the relevant assessment year, that is the date would be 31st of March 2030. That would be 70% additional tax along with the interest that we need to pay. So this is the entire scenario related with ITRU filing. Okay. Now that if we have to sum everything that we have learned today, that is belated return as of section 139 subsection 4 of the income tax, and updated return as of section 139 subsection 8A of Income Tax Act. The usual deadline of filing your tax return is 31st of July. That has been extended to 15 September 2025 this year. Okay. Now anytime you are filing between 15 September 2025 to 31st of December 2025, that would be your belated return. Okay. and now you are paying you are filing you are filing the income tax returns from the end of the relevant assessment year, that is 31st of March 2026 to there are end of 4 years from that date, 4 years from that date, that will be 31st of March 2030. That would be called as updated return. So this is your belated return, this is your updated return. That's all for now. I hope I have made you understand things in a clearer, in a better way. Hope to meet you soon in the next video. Thank you.